Good afternoon, and thank you for joining us. My name is Melissa Mickey, the Communications Manager for the City of Cape Coral, and we appreciate you coming out today. We have an update from some of our city officials on the Hurricane Ian recovery efforts from our city. First, I would like to introduce our City Manager, Rob Hernandez, who would like to share some information.
Good afternoon. I'm Rob Hernandez, City Manager for the great city of Cape Coral. Joining me today are the following individuals: Cape Coral Mayor John Gunter, Council Members Tom Hayden, Keith Long, Dan Shepard. I'm also joined by Cape Coral Fire Chief Ryan Lamb, Cape Coral Police Chief Anthony Sizemore, Cape Coral Public Works Director Michael Ilchizen. Just 5 days ago, the city of Cape Coral withstood the largest natural disaster in its 52-year history. During those 5 days, the city has been completely dedicated to response and recovery efforts to get this city back on its feet. We've made considerable progress in the last 5 days. More homes are being serviced with electrical power. I believe that almost 100% of our utility customers are back on water service, and sewer service is slowly resuming as we speak. Within that context, I continue to ask all of our residents to be patient. Again, this is a catastrophic event. And despite the fact that we've made all of this progress in the last 5 days, much work remains before us. As we said yesterday, if you're watching this, you probably are not in Cape Coral, as power is still down in many areas throughout the city, and cell phone coverage continues to be spotty and unreliable. Despite this, we continue to rely on social media, press releases, press conferences, radio, Alertly, informational flyers in Spanish and in English that are being provided at Cape Coral fire stations throughout the city, the police department, and City Hall. These locations also have power strips available to assist people in charging their mobile devices so they can have access to information. Along the lines of safety, I want to share a few items with you, just a few reminders. Carbon monoxide poisoning is a real concern. Make sure your generator is at least 20 feet away from your home and in a well-ventilated area. Our fire department has been running many calls in the last couple of days as a result of carbon monoxide poisoning. That's something that can easily be prevented and avoided. When refueling your temporary generator, let it cool down and make sure it is off before adding fuel to it. Lines at our gas stations are long. They're getting shorter each and every day. And so the message we want to send to folks that is, if you don't need to be on the road, please stay home. Please don't clog up the roads running unnecessary errands until we get important and essential services restored. At this time, I'm going to turn it over to Cape Coral's Mayor John Gunter for additional important messages. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. City Manager. Good afternoon. I want to touch on a few topics here today for our residents. The City Manager touched on a few of those as well. First of all, I want to let our community know that our water supply is 100% up and running throughout the city. I want to thank our Public Works and Utilities crews because they have been working around the clock in order to make that happen. One thing I want to remind you, with the watering supply that we have here in our city, under a state of emergency, you can only use that water for essential uses: bathing, cooking, drinking, but remember, please boil the water, and for medical and public safety related activities. All other activities, power washing, washing your car, whatever it may be, they are prohibited during the state of emergency. Additionally, with the water, of course, comes sewer. Unfortunately, as of right now, we are not at 100% with our sewer. We have almost 400 lift stations throughout the city that are without power, that we are attempting to get portable generators to each one of those facilities to get them up and running. So please use water wisely. Keep in mind that our sewer system still has not been 100% upgraded or back up in service. So please use your water wisely. As far as electricity, as we all know, that is a priority here in our city. If you joined our press conference yesterday, we had the CEO of LCEC here, and she stated that their goal is to have 95% of our city up and running by October 8th. I will tell you that I have also been in contact with the Vice President of Florida Power and Light yesterday and today. I also worked on getting a site here in our city, a mobilization site that our staff identified and approved for FP&L to come, as well as other electrical linesmen. As we are speaking now, I can tell you that Florida Power and Light is mobilizing 1,000 personnel and equipment in the northern part of our city near our northern RO plant, with an additional 1,000 people to come in the next few days as well. So we will have a lot of manpower here when it comes to our electricity. It's just getting them mobilized, getting them set up, so those particular workers can go out and do the job of putting our city back together. I will tell you, speaking with Florida Power and Light, typically they will be working from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. They'll bring the trucks back in. There is a night crew that will be resupplying the trucks throughout the night. So in the next morning, the linesmen can get in their trucks and they're ready to roll. Another thing I wanted to bring up that I think it's very important to mention, you know, I've been out and about in the city each day riding around. We're starting to see vendors throughout the state and from other states that are beginning to flock our city. And I want to warn our residents when it comes to contractors. First off, I'm a licensed contractor myself. I have an identification card that was issued by the State of Florida Department of License and Regulations. By regulations, I'm supposed to have that card on me at all times. So the first question that you should be asking any individual that you're speaking to, if they say they're a contractor, ask them to provide that card. If they cannot provide that card, that should be a big red flag for you. Unlicensed handyman and scammers, I promise you, will be in our city. We will do everything that we can under our power to make sure that there are only licensed individuals out there, but I assure you they will fall between the cracks, and they will be there. And I want to remind you that it is a criminal offense for any individual that is not licensed in our state, or if it is a licensed contractor from another state, they will be granted licensing waivers to operate in our state. But they should have documentation with them to show that they are either a licensed contractor or they have received the approval from the Department of License to work here in the state of Florida. Additionally, please do not give any large payments of checks, of cash, of any sorts. If you have an individual that is attempting to get a large deposit or check from you, especially if they haven't provided you with the appropriate documentation, please be wary. Unfortunately, we have individuals in our society that will prey on the weak and the vulnerable, so we have to make sure that we are aware of that. Additionally, When it comes to insurance, we have to make sure that we reach out to our insurance companies first. Try to engage with them. We will be establishing insurance pods throughout the city in the coming days where our residents will be able to go to. We are in the process of establishing that now. Also, if you do have a problem or an issue, you can go on the webpage for fraudfreeflorida.com, and also you can contact the Consumer Insurance Helpline at 1-877-MY-FLORIDA-CFO. Let's talk a little bit about distribution sites throughout the city. As of right now, we have 2 distribution sites that are activated now, have been for several days. I have visited both of those facilities or sites each day that they have been operational. They are working well. I will tell you that the lines yesterday were much longer than they were today. Their hours of operation, I believe, is 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. So if you need water, ice, they do have some food essentials there as well. One site is at the Cape Coral Sports Complex off of Trafalgar, and the other site is located at 4820 Leonard Street in the southern part of the Cape. We are trying to also open 2 additional sites. Right now, they're not operational. We're making sure that we have the supplies available, but we will put that information out if need be. Both the supplies also, we have just activated today, I believe. It's called the SOS Squad, and what these individuals will be doing is going out into the community. There should be a marked fire vehicle along with a marked or unmarked F-150 pickup trucks that will be going out into the community as well. They will have information that they can hand you to better direct you on a need that you may have, but also they will have food, water, and cleaning supplies that they may be able to hand out as well. Additionally, hopefully tomorrow the Red Cross will join our SOS teams, and they will be there as well. We also have staff working on bringing in portable hygiene stations throughout the city for our residents, which will be bathrooms, showers, and charging stations for our residents to use. When we have more information of where exactly they will be located, we will get that information out to the community. Debris collection. As I had mentioned yesterday in our press conference, Waste Pro will be picking up routine trash pickup, but it's only for trash. It's not for any type of horticulture or recyclables. It is trash only. They are attempting to do their normal routine service. So whichever day was your trash day, that will continue moving forward. If by chance a truck cannot get down the street, they will use other means to try to pick up the trash from a residence. Also, starting tomorrow, I believe, we will have a remote site that is possible for horticulture only that you may have in your yard that you want to get rid of. But what we recommend is just carry it out to the street and put it in 3 separate piles in front of the house. One is for vegetation, one is for construction debris, and one is for appliances. We will have our debris trucks out later in the week that will start picking up debris throughout the city. And like I mentioned yesterday in our press conference, they will be coming through the neighborhood several times. So if they do a first pass, you have additional debris, please carry it out. They will be back subsequently on other days, and we will try to get that information out to the public as well, what days they will be in your area. Again, there will be a horticulture waste drop-off site at 1130 Northwest 28th Place. You can drop off horticulture starting tomorrow at that particular location. But again, I would urge our community, just carry it out to the street, and we will be out to start picking those items up shortly. If you do go to our remote site on Northeast 28th Place, you must bring your driver's license or ID to show that you are a Cape Coral resident. And again, horticulture debris only. No vegetation in plastic bags. It's only for vegetation. Streets with low power lines and branches. You still got to be aware of that. Be wary. We are energizing our electrical lines throughout the city. If you see an electrical line, please just assume that it is hot. That is the best course. We are going throughout the city, especially on our roadways, to make sure that we get those lines at least removed from the roadway. But please, in the process, make sure that you have caution, because the line could be hot. Today, Cape Coral City Council had a special meeting, and I wanted to talk a little bit about that special meeting and what we implemented. First, you may be aware that, of course, we were under a state of emergency that the city manager issued for the first 7 days. After that, council had to vote to extend that state of emergency. By Florida statute, state of emergencies are in 7-day blocks. City Council did extend for the next 7 days, starting tomorrow, for another 7-day process with our local state of emergency that was declared back on September 27th. This will be revisited every 7 days, but for now it has been extended for another 7-day period. The other task that we did as a board is any committee, advisory boards, appeals, hearing examiners, all of those types of hearings have been canceled for the month of October. We also authorize the waiver of permit fees for all emergency permits. Please, we will get that information out to the community. You can come to City Hall. We will be handling those permits by paper, so they won't be going through EnerGov, and there should be a very speedy process. We will have a dedicated staffing in order to get those permits out, and please visit our website to get more information on those types of permits. It is for any type of structural damage, whether it's minor or major. So that classification does have some differences. So please, you can either come to City Hall when it does open, or you can visit our webpage to see what the parameters are with our permit fees. Additionally, we also allowed habitable temporary structures at homes within our city. If you have a house that is inhabitable, you can bring in a habitable structure for temporary housing, and also you can bring in temporary storage containers to be located at your residence as well. We want to make sure that we provide whatever means necessary in order to make sure that our residents can get through the next several weeks. And lastly, I just want to ask our community, like the city manager stated earlier, please have patience. I will tell you, we've been working around the clock. We have had many resources of Cape Coral yesterday and today. Thousands of individuals are pouring into our city to help us. Be patient. Of course, the priorities, of course, first was water, sewer, and electricity. I promise you, we are working very diligently to get that up and running. We will probably still have future press conferences to keep our community informed. And like the city manager stated, make sure not only do you tune into our local stations, radio, our social media pages. We're trying to get this information out. We understand that due to our cell towers, electricity down, it's extremely difficult, but we will get that information out to you as much as we can. So thank you for coming, and stay tuned. I'm sure you will be hearing from us again soon. Thank you.